Harvey Weinstein victimized Asia Argento, but did she victimize someone else? You want some more TYT content? There's a whole audio library of podcasts. Go to tyt.com/audio and pick your favorite. Asia Argento was one of the original people to come out and say that she was a victim of sexual misconduct at the hands of Harvey Weinstein. But a new report says that she actually paid off someone who had accused her of sexual misconduct. The person is Jimmy Bennett, whom according to reports, she paid $380,000 to for what he says was a sexual assault in 2013 when he was a teenager and she was 37 years old. So, I mean, this first bit of the story, it's you may know him from he played young Captain Kirk in Star Trek, and he was also in Poseidon and a bunch of other stuff. But what happens when you see a story like this and it seems like the shoe is on the other foot?
I think there's no buts, it's an and, because both of these things could have very well happened and they don't cancel each other out.
Yeah.
And that's, the problem is it's gonna cancel each other out in a lot of people's minds.
Right, so what do you mean by cancel itself out?
They're gonna say that she couldn't be a victim if she's also a perpetrator.
It's going to tarnish the Me Too movement, basically.
But it doesn't have to,
It's probably going to, though. I mean, it's disgusting on many levels because she played his mother in a movie and seemed to have groomed him for years. And then this happened, and if you read the details of it, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the details is, according to the accusation from the report we have, he arrived at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Marina Del Rey, California, met her in a hotel room with a family member. But according to the report, Argento asked to be alone with him, and then he claims that she gave him alcohol and then showed him notes she made on hotel stationery. She then proceeded to kiss him and perform oral sex before having intercourse with him. And then there's a bunch of tweets that came out later of her talking about how happy she would be to see him again. She's like, not sure when I'll be back, but hopefully next time I get to see you, even though I might start just crying from happiness. I mean, good God, I don't know what more to say about this other than it's like soup. But here is the other end of it. Like, my temptation as just like a dude who grew up in the 90s is to be like, there's a Zach Galifianakis joke that goes like this. It says, "Do you hear about the 14-year-old boy who had sex with his hot 28-year-old teacher? He died of high fives."
Oh.
So that's the thing, like when I read this, part of me goes like, are you kidding me? She's a beautiful woman and you're 18, like, and you're in the Ritz-Carlton as a star.
He was 17.
17, oh really?
Yes.
That's, even from my perspective as a 17-year-old, I would have been over the moon for this. But that doesn't mean that he was over the moon for this. He says that it stymied his acting career. And you saw him in a bunch of stuff for quite some time, and then it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I looked at his IMDb before this, and he was working consistently, and it drops off right around 2013, which probably isn't coincidental. I mean, it's hard for me to view it that way with the Zach Galifianakis joke. I think it's abuse. It's always going to be abuse. It just sounds like a really outdated way of thinking of it.
It absolutely is, but like if this happened, I can just picture like a bunch of high school kids going like, way to go, man.
But you also don't know how this can affect you. When you're 17 and this is someone who's almost 40, you don't know. You think like this sounds hot and cool, but you really have no idea how this can, that's why 17-year-olds shouldn't be in consensual relationships with 40-year-olds. Because you're 17.
Yeah.
You're not equipped for
really
that level of a relationship.
Right.
You're not ready for that. You're not equipped for the type of conversation. It's just, this is not good.
Yeah, I don't know any guys who were in that kind of situation and know the legacy that it left years later. But I do know, I know personally a lot of young female students who went through this kind of age disparity. And it is rough. And no matter how at the time you thought like, no, this is real true love. Like from my perspective, those laws exist for a reason. And that reason is like, no matter what you might think at the time, there is something to be said for like, this should not be happening. And there's a legacy, according to him, that lasts a long time. So we'll cover it if there's more developments in terms of if any legal proceedings are coming out of this. But yeah, it's just an intense, strange story. Have you heard about TYT's new podcast network? We have some amazing new shows for you, and you can get them anywhere you get your podcasts, including iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. Go download them right now. And for more information, you can go to tyt.com/audio.